Timothy Phoenix here, and welcome to another video. This time I'm going to talk about Moldavite again. I have got a new Moldavite ring. Check this out. So this is my latest Moldavite ring there, and this is a really beautiful piece, as you can see. It's a nice handcrafted silver ring there. And I had it for 2 months now, I would say. So plenty of time to kind of see what it's all about. Get that a bit closer, you can have a look. But yeah, it's really beautifully put together. So I wanted to talk today about how I've been feeling since getting this ring. I'll pop it on. So we are, kind of got it there. It's actually too big for me. I had to get a little thing to put inside it to get it to stay on. But it's so nice, I didn't want to send it back. I had to keep it. So this particular piece, this Moldavite piece, I found that the first week or two that I had it, I had Moldavite flush. I wasn't actually feeling too good, which always tells me that it's a particularly strong piece. My earlier pieces, I never really felt any Moldavite flush, but the last 2 pieces I've had, definitely felt it. The last 3, in fact. So this one's up there. Now, because of course we're in this, for most of us, we're in this lockdown situation now. I haven't really been getting out and about, and you know, when things get back to normal, what we'll find is kind of things like manifestations, synchronicities, opportunities are going to increase. But when you're in this kind of period of stasis, really, it does kind of limit what you can actually manifest. So there hasn't been a lot happening in terms of my outer physical world or people I've been meeting or anything like that. But what I can tell you is that the way I would describe what's been happening with this since I've had this piece of Moldavite is that I feel like I'm being shown my future. And what I mean by that is I've noticed that as I've gone about my days, the past few weeks, online, I'm coming across a lot of stuff which seems to be pointing me towards where my future is going to be. Now, of course, I'm into the law of attraction. I'm sure you know that, and I do my visualizations. I've got a big vision. I do affirmations, so I know what I want from life, and I have, a big vision for the next few years. So I always know what I want, and I always know kind of what I'm moving towards. And I just allow the law of attraction to bring it to me without taking too much action, apart from inspired action when I feel it. Never trying to force it, never trying to really overplan things, more to flow through life. And what I've found since I got this Moldavite ring is that the universe is like showing me the pathway. It's like, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. And it's the best way I can find to describe it. It's difficult to describe it. It's like I feel now, like some of these things on the 5-year vision felt like a long way away. They did feel like a few years away, and now they don't. It's the best way I can kind of put it. It's like I'm being shown, actually, you can get this a lot quicker, and this could be a route you want to go down, or maybe if you do this, things are going to come to you a bit quicker. It's like the answers are all being pushed directly in front of me now, to the point where I feel like, not just feel like I know everything on that 5-year big vision that I've got, it's coming and it will happen. Whereas I think before, there were 1 or 2 things on that 5-year big vision, because I dream really big, massive, way more than I know most people tend to, because most people tend to dream quite small. They limit themselves, I don't. So everything on my plan is huge. And So for me, I wouldn't say I had a doubt over getting those things, but it was more of, there's a, maybe it is a doubt, I don't know. Maybe there was just like a smidgen of doubt with a couple of those things as to whether they would happen, or I think it was more about when it was going to happen. Like, would it really happen within 5 years? Because I do truly believe I'm going to get everything that I want, but it just might take longer than 5 years. That was the smidgen of doubt that I had with a couple of things. Not anymore. I know they're coming, and I know they're going to come within the 5 years, and that's the way I feel now, because I just feel that the universe has been showing me that this is possible and these are going to happen. And it's not like just one or two things on that vision, it's like everything on that vision was being shown to me within the space of like a couple of weeks. And now I'm continuously being shown them. I want to say show, it could be a video that I'm watching on YouTube, it could be something I come across on Instagram, scrolling through my feed, and it'll be someone else who's doing what I want to do, or just like a sequence of stuff will come up and I'll just be like, well, that's weird, because it wasn't like that was happening before. Occasionally it might happen, but not with everything all together at the same time. And that's what's been happening. And it's been incredible. It's been like a real rush of excitement for me. And it's just like a knowing. I always say that for a manifestation to come through, it helps if you kind of really know that it's going to come, because when you know, you kind of drop that desperation around it. So you're not searching for it and you're not doubting it. You know it's coming. It's almost like, I describe it like a kid at Christmas, whereas they don't doubt in the weeks leading up that they're going to get Christmas presents. They don't doubt that they're going to get what they want. They might get a bit impatient for Christmas to come, but they know that basically on December 25th, they're getting what they want. And that's how you have to be with your manifestations. It has to be, I know it's coming. So when that happens, you just kind of relax on everything and just let it happen. And because it's coming. And that's how I feel now with every single thing on the vision. It's not a plan, it's a vision. That's really important for anyone out there who does this kind of stuff, because you can't plan. If you start to plan in detail to get the things that you want, you're forcing it, and you will end up blocking potential ways that you could receive that manifestation, because you're too hyper focused on one specific way, like it has to be done this way. And if you do that, basically you're blocking off kind of 99% of other possible ways that it can come to you, which you don't know about right now, and you probably couldn't even fathom. But the universe knows everything. The universe knows 100% of all those opportunities, and so is working through them to find the quickest way to get you that manifestation. So don't plan, and just have the big vision, know what you want, and then kind of take the steps to move towards it as they're presented to you, as they come along. Spot the opportunities as they're coming through, and just flow with it, flow with life. One thing I wanted to talk about was something that a client of mine said to me. I work with coaching clients, and I always send them a piece of Moldavite, because I find that it's very useful to work with to kind of speed up the transformation process. So I sent this client of mine a Moldavite and didn't hear from her for a while, and then eventually spoke to her, and she said that she'd basically been spending a lot of time meditating and in dream states, and the Moldavite really got hold of her basically. And to the point where, and she was describing how she felt that she kind of would just drift off somewhere, like in the middle of like even walking down the road, and her mind would just drift off somewhere. But she said it wasn't like a daydream. She knew it wasn't daydreaming, it felt real. So she continues to describe this situation, and she said that she felt she went somewhere into her future, and she saw herself kind of really enjoying like a new life, really laughing with her kind of friends and family, and she saw herself as a successful businesswoman with a really thriving business. Of course, that's what I do. I coach people to do that, to manifest that. But she said it wasn't like a dream, it wasn't a daydream, she was actually there. And that's easy to dismiss that and say, no, it probably was just a dream. But she felt that this was continually happening to her over a period of weeks, and that she could kind of feel when it was coming that there would like be a blurriness around the kind of periphery of her view. And it was like she literally stepped into a portal. That's what she felt she was actually doing. I think she actually described it as she actually stepped into something, and then had this super realistic moment, but she actually described it as real. And as she kept saying this, I kind of realised what was happening. And this is actually something I believe in wholeheartedly, which is that there are other timelines, and we can step into those timelines, or we can change our vibration to move and shift ourselves to another timeline. And I believe she was getting a taste of that. So I believe because of the work that we're doing, she is, and now the Moldavite's come and enhanced that. It's kind of, she's shifting in and out of that new timeline. So it's coming and it's going. She's not fully there yet because she's still got the work to do to get there, but it was almost like she's getting a taster of it, if you like. I believe she was actually there. I believe she was actually in that future vision of herself, and that future version of herself. Because that's the way this all works. I believe that there is a version of us in a timeline for everything that you can think of. So if we take it to extremes, there's a version of you that's the leader of your country, that the president or the prime minister of your country. And there's a version of you that's homeless and on the streets and a drug addict. And there's everything in between that's possible in your lifespan. And all the choices and turns that we make in our life can shift us onto whatever timeline available in that within that window. So what she was seeing was another timeline, not too far away from where she is now, because she's working towards that. She's working towards that happier life and that new career. But yeah, she got a little taste of it, and that's the first time I've actually heard of anyone actually doing that. I read about that, but I've never actually had a client of mine do that, or heard anyone who's actually felt that they stepped into that portal. So I'm telling you, this is it's really interesting. This is what Moldavite does. It kind of enhances things and kind of speeds up that transformation process. And in her case, she's someone who's particularly sensitive to everything, really, more sensitive than me, because I've never experienced anything like that before. So I kind of want to now, but if you've ever read the book Reality Transurfing, go and check that out, because it talks about this in that book. But reality transurfing is basically, the book is really about law of attraction, and it's about how you can shift into a timeline to manifest whatever you want. And that's what we have to do. You have to become what you want before you can get it. You have to become the version of you, how you would be if you had the thing that you want. So you have to become it first. And you have to shift into that timeline. And the way you do that is by doing the law of attraction work, basically, doing the visualizations, creating that big vision, and actually taking action, inspired action, and moving towards it, and changing. You're not really changing who you are at your core, but you're still the same person, but basically you're becoming an improved version of yourself. And that starts with simple things like basically even changing the way you think about yourself and view yourself first and foremost, but also changing things like the way you walk, the way you speak, all of that, is part of that process, because the person of you who is that highest version of yourself, that greater version of yourself, they're probably going to behave slightly differently. You're going to perhaps be more confident, you're going to walk more confident, you're going to talk more confidently. So those are all things you can do to kind of start to shift into that timeline. But yeah, it's really exciting to hear that from her. Certainly made me smile, and this is why I do this kind of work. So so that's all for now. I mean, until kind of things start to change and we come out of this situation that we're in, then there's really only a limited amount of manifestation that's going to happen, but it's coming, and that's the main thing. I feel now more aligned than ever. I feel more confident than ever, and it's like a deep knowing that it's just a matter of time for me now. For getting those big vision things, and I don't doubt anymore. And that's really an incredible feeling when you don't have that doubt around anything you're doing, about what you're moving towards. It changes everything, because most people, when they're trying to manifest, and when they get Moldavite, a lot of people, I still get a lot of messages from people, and they're asking me, I've got Moldavite now, Tim, any tips? What do I do? And I don't give tips, okay? When I do these videos, all I'm doing is talking about my experiences. I really very rarely will give a tip on anything, because I don't really believe in giving tips. And certainly when it comes to getting Moldavite to work, because you can't get Moldavite to work. It just does. So when you get Moldavite, you don't do anything. All you're doing is just allowing. You let it do whatever it needs to do, which we can't fathom, we can't work that out. So just leave it. Allow it to do its thing, and you just wait and see what happens. For most people, stuff's going to start to happen. Synchronicities, manifestations are going to come into your life. Then it's up to you how you respond to that. You still got free will. The Moldavite isn't going to turn your life upside down. It's going to bring stuff into your life, and how you react to it is going to decide the outcome of that. So there aren't any tips. So don't ask me for tips. Okay? Just, if you're interested, get the Moldavite, wait and see what happens, give it a bit of time, and then just allow. That's the best thing you can do, is just go with the flow, see what happens, and it'll just allow it to run its course, and don't be fearful of it. A lot of people are still very, very fearful of Moldavite. The lady that I was just talking about there, she was fearful before she got it, and then she got it and she felt great with it, actually. She was really kind of in this, almost like she'd gone into this underworld almost for a while, and but she was experiencing some of the timelines, maybe some of the dimensions there. I've never felt anything like that. So everyone's experience is different, and that's another reason why you can't really go on what anyone else is saying, or even what I'm saying. You just got to try it and see what happens. Okay, so that's all for now, and hopefully be back in a few weeks or months and see if anything interesting has happened. But really, we're all waiting for the same thing, right? We're waiting for this lockdown to end. We're waiting for the world to get back to the way it should be. I think it's going to happen through the spring sometime. So hopefully by then I'll be able to come back and I'll have some new content for you. But till then, hasta luego.